Ooh, something smells good. What did you make tonight?
Just cooked up my specialty. Good and spicy.
Yummy, I'm hungry.
Tell me about your day. How was the Women in Lifelong Learning workshop?
I really enjoyed the day. I learned so much that I can use right away, as well as in the future.
What workshops did you attend in the morning?
Well, first there was coffee and muffins, and the women mingled for a while, and then I met some women from Ottawa who were very interesting. One started her own business, and she was very upfront about the problems she's had getting financing and assistance from banks.
That's true for everyone starting up.
Well, it's a definite barrier for women more than men. You've seen the hoops I've had to jump through when working with the banks.
Oh yeah, I agree. They've been very difficult.
Anyway, the morning workshop I attended was specifically for immigrant women who hope to start up our own businesses. It was called Newcomer, New Business, Entrepreneurs of the Future.
Was it any good?
It was gratifying to know that I'm not alone on this career path. There were 50 of us in the room, and each one was a smart, enterprising woman who has experience and business savvy and ideas.
So what's everyone's problem?
Well, the biggest impediments to future success are the systemic barriers because we are women and immigrants. Often there are language problems, no Canadian experience, childcare issues, and a lack of knowledge about Canadian business culture.
How did they suggest you overcome these barriers?
Well, the title of the day-long workshop was Women and Lifelong Learning, so what would you guess they suggested?
Well, taking courses maybe?
Well, taking courses, upgrading English, joining entrepreneurial classes specific to immigrants, taking business courses at colleges and universities if our English is good enough, taking online courses if we're home with children, and then they gave us brochures and other information about community programs and resources which could offer assistance.
Wow. Sounds like that in itself was worth the price of the day.
Oh, it was. I was so pumped up by lunchtime I could barely eat. I sat with some women who were also in the workshop, and we talked and shared ideas through the whole time, and before we knew it, lunch was over.
You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun.
That is so true, and then the best was yet to come.
By the way, who was the afternoon guest speaker?
Her name was Talia Corsier, and I've never been so inspired by a speaker before.
Really? What were her qualifications?
Well, she's an immigrant woman herself, and she came here 7 years ago. She gave a background talk about all the barriers she encountered as a visible minority woman who had a successful business in her country and how she was determined to have her own business here.
Well, obviously she succeeded.
Well, she did, but that's not all she had to say. That was only the beginning. She's moved on to think about what makes people happy, not just successful, but truly happy. She now is an inspirational speaker who spreads the message on how to build a happy life.
Really? What makes people happy?
Well, she listed a number of personality traits and life situations that can predict happiness, but it boils down to a few basics.
A few basics, which are?
Well, she spoke about personality traits such as optimism. It's essential to have a positive attitude in general and look at the good things in life. Also, good self-esteem is important. If you think less of yourself, it's going to be nearly impossible to be happy. Another personality trait is altruism.
Altruism? I've never heard of altruism.
It's giving to others. It's caring about other people instead of just yourself and your immediate family. And she talked about volunteering in the community, doing good deeds, fundraising for a good cause. She said, happiness is like perfume. You can't give it to others without getting some on yourself.
Very interesting. I never thought of that. What did she have to say about life situations that contribute to happiness?
One, which should be obvious, is to live in a democratic and stable society. So the fact that we are in Canada now, instead of the chaotic mess in our country, should and does make us happier.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Another is satisfying work. Now that is something we need to work on, and brings me full circle to the morning workshop of overcoming systemic barriers.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
Yes, we will. I know we will.